How much nuance is there still, though? And I'm thinking particularly of the Uyghur situation in China. Disney kind of putting its foot in it with a film that was filmed in part in that region, which to me really spoke to kind of the ignorance of it as much as anything else, a kind of a shocking misstep given everything that's been going on. How well are we doing, I guess, at paying attention to drawing lines where they should be drawn?
Well, I think it is a two-step process. I think first it's educating the public and companies and labor unions who are employed in those companies about what is going on, and say, would you like that to happen, in other countries where we're trying to operate? And the answer, I presume, would be no. And then, other than education, it's a tactical question, and how can we, effectively, as best as we can, in a place like China, which is a very tough nut to crack, try to get some semblance of reform. Now, I first set foot in Xinjiang in the mid-1980s, where we did not see these kinds of problems yet, but it was very clear even back then that the Chinese were incentivizing the Han, the main race of people in China, to populate the region. And obviously that has changed. So you've got a lot of ingrained interest on the part of Beijing of trying to deal with the Xinjiang province. And of course, their cloak over this is that this represents a security interest to China, which it really does not. And I think that may also be an issue that there might be some education on the part of Chinese about what really is a security threat to them.
And on the security threat file, I'm curious for your view of Canada's handling of some of these issues. The use of Huawei technology, among the Five Eyes, Canada stands out as not having yet made a call. We stand out in other ways, and you could produce a list going back to the first official visit post-Tiananmen of a kind of a willingness to deal with China, to be open with China, to try to be friendly. It's done nothing for us in the last couple of years. I mean, it has zero goodwill, as far as we can tell, in terms of Canadians held there and trade relationships. Are we wrong? Have we taken the wrong approach? Does Canada need a rethink of its China file?
Well, I think as long as Xi Jinping is in power, I think, yes. I think his predecessors probably were more pliable, as I said earlier. But I think he is cracking down domestically, let alone his sort of willingness to sort of turn a blind eye to what other countries think, particularly economically. Now, if the Chinese economy begins to slow down, which I think it will ultimately, and not in the too distant future, I think you're going to see his sentiment changed a bit. But again, I think what China is most sensitive to is its standing in the world. And when a coalition of very large trading partners and economic powers begin to work in unison, which has not happened yet, I think you'll find at least some more pliability on the part of Xi Jinping than has been the case up until now. But no one's really tried that very effectively.